and today I'll be talking about my September wrap-up. So September is a good reading month, except I participated in Hogwarts House Battles Readathon, which I had a lot of fun with, but there were some days that I did not feel like reading at all, so I was mad at myself for it, but I was really happy on how far I got. I almost read 8 books, even though for the 8th book I only got into 30 pages, but that's okay with me because at least I was reading. So I've read 7 books and I'm happy that I read a lot for this readathon. And any of you guys notice I'm wearing a cap in this video. I'm just feel like dizzy today, but anyways, I'm going to be talking about the 7 books that I've read in September, so let's get started. The first book that I've read in September is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I did not expect to like this as much as I did, because I've heard mixed reviews on Goodreads and on BookTube. I know some people didn't like it, as well as people that loved it, and I really like this book. And of course, this is about 2 girls who are raised by fairies. That's the synopsis of this book, but anyway, I really like the characters, and I really like the story concept. I found the world very confusing, so it's like they were like either in a fairy world or they're in a human world, so I was like, I'm not sure if those two are like combined or something. That confused me a lot as I was reading this, but I really ended up enjoying it. I like Jude and her sisters, and I'm not sure if about the other characters, but I do like a lot of the characters in this book. I like how very unique they were, and I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in September is Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith. This is a retelling of The Goose Girl, where a girl who's a princess who's raised by her family are witches, and she did not like her family that much, so she ends up running away from home and disguising herself as a commoner, and that's on the synopsis of the story, but I loved it so much. This is becoming one of my favorite books of the year. I know like some of the concepts of this book like literally reminds me of other YA books, but I just did not expect it to be like very different from any other books that I've read, and I love Aurelia. She's a really awesome character, and I also love the other characters in this book, and there were a lot of twists and turns, and I just did not expect this. I'm going to have a book review on this, and I'll link it, and it's down below when I release it, but I loved it so much, and I did not expect to love it as much as I did, and I give this 5 out of 5 stars. Next book that I've read in September is Miss Madeline Ash by Gwendolyn Clare. This is a sequel to Ink, Iron, Glass. I was very disappointed with this one. Like, I really enjoyed Ink, Iron, Glass. I really liked it, but with the sequel, there was not a lot going on, and I feel like everything was rushed, and I was like glad to be back in the world and seeing the characters, but this was okay. This is like I did not expect to not like the sequel at all. I was expected at 5 out of 5 stars, or I was expected at 5 out of 5 stars, but it really went downhill for me, and I've just been very disappointed in this book, and I'm just really sad about it, but I still find it okay, and I just wish the author could have done it better for the sequel, so I give it 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in September is Soul of Stars by Ashley Poston, and this is a sequel to Heart of Iron. And if you guys don't know about Heart of Iron, and it's a sci-fi retelling of Anastasia, and I loved it last year, and I'm so glad that I get to read this year, and I love it as much as the first book. I miss the characters so much, and I love seeing like more characters' perspectives other than the 4 main characters, and everything happens so, like, oh my gosh, everything keeps happening like this and that, and I'm just really happy that I got to read this. This is one of my favorite sequels I've read this year. I just can't wait. I just sad that this is a duology, but I'm happy that the way this book ended, and I give this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in September is Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Old Clock. This is a library book that I just rented from the library. This is the very first Nancy Drew book, and I've been wanting to read this since my mom mentioned that it's her favorite books as a kid. I know it's a kid's book, but I love Nancy Drew since I've seen the old TV show and Emma Roberts movie. I almost said a different actress name. There's too many actresses named Emma. But anyways, I'm just so happy I got to read this, and it was very short, so I've read it within, like, I know I've, like, stopped reading this because of the readathon, and, like I was in the middle of another book, but I'm glad that I read this really quickly because a lot of mysteries are really quick reads for me just because, like, you don't want to know, you don't want to put the book down because you want to know what happens next, and I'm really happy that I got to read the first Nancy Drew book, and I just love Nancy Drew and all the other characters, like her dad, who was part of the, who was like police. I don't remember, but I'm just so hyped because CW is releasing a TV show based on Nancy Drew. I'm just really excited about that, and of course, from reading this, I'm like, makes me really hyped about the TV show that's coming out in October, and I'm just excited about that, and I'm just so happy that I get to read this, and I'm hoping to read another Nancy Drew book one day, but I don't know when, and I get this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in September is The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth. This is a kind of a Narnia-esque kind of story, and I really enjoyed this book. I do have one huge problem with it. Like, it was from one character's perspective, and then they jump into another character's perspective. That really bugged me a lot, because I was like, that felt unexpectedly, and I just didn't think it was necessary, but at the same time, it's kind of good to hear another character's perspective, but I just wish they didn't, like, have, like each chapter you get to see both characters' perspectives at the same time, but you, like, have half of a book as the one character's perspective, and then another half of a book you get another character's perspective. That bugged me a lot, but that's the only thing that I didn't like about this book. But the positive thing about this book is that I love the characters, and I also love the world, and I did not expect it to be like a historical fiction fantasy story, which I did not expect at all, and I still enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. It's just one thing that I just mentioned really bugged me a lot, so yeah, and I give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. The book that I've read in September is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. This is a fantasy book where there's demons. That's all I really know. I know I just finished this. Yeah, there was a girl and there's a prince and then a monster. I'm guessing that there was demons, but I probably forgot all about that. But anyways, I thought this book was a perfect read for the fall because, like, this is a OwlCrate exclusive cover that kind of gives me the fall vibes, but I did listen to it on audiobook and physically read this. I honestly did not like the narrator, so that's my big issue with the audiobook. But when I read it physically, I kind of felt more connected to like the book than I did in audiobook. I'm sorry that I almost lost my train of thoughts there, but that's the big issue with you. I did not like the narrator. That's the only thing I didn't that I had a problem with it, but I did like the world and I liked the characters, and I think I should reread this like when the sequel comes out, because I feel like I would have a more full opinion if I read this physically than like 50% listening to audiobook and 50% reading it physically, because I don't know, I really like the characters and I like the world, but the audiobook was a big issue for me, so I give this 4 out of 5 stars. So that's all of the books that I've read in September. Let me know in the comments down below on the books that you've read in September, and yeah, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!